Hey guys, back with the LS swap with the Rubicon here, and I just kind of want to take you around things again just to point a couple things out. We've basically got the LS wiring harness well, as much connected as we can at this point. One of the things that you really don't know until you get your motor is what type of General Motors oil sensor it's actually going to have. You see this one here is actually the large sensor. On the LS harnesses, they all come with a small sensor, and you really don't know what you're going to get. So unfortunately for us, we have to go ahead and get ourselves another oil pressure sensor here for the GM harness, and we'll go ahead and do that. But something I wanted to point out, it's kind of one of those unavoidable things you just have to see when you get your crate motor, actually what you're going to get at that point. The other thing that I actually want to show you, which is kind of over here, is obviously you've got your General Motors engine coolant line and sensor that actually comes out of the head here on the driver's side. Running the Motec setup, we also have to have a Chrysler signal from that as well. So you actually utilize your standard Chrysler sensor out of the block. You take it out of the front of the block. And two things you can do. We're actually going to use this boss here, and Motec will either send you a adapter, because this is a much smaller, this is 3/8 MPT, and the sensor is plastic and it's much larger, so you can use an adapter, or you can actually drill this head out to 3/8 MPT, which is most likely what we'll do at that point to get that taken care of. So just something that we wanted to point out for you as well. Also, for the 2011s, it's important to know that on your MAF, the harness, a lot of times they will come with actually the pink wire, not sure whether you can see it or not, actually next to the yellow. We just needed to switch that over to have the pink wire in the middle, so you've got yellow, black, pink, brown, and purple, and that's what it needs to be for the 2011. Not sure what other years, but any of you guys that are running the 2011s, that's kind of important to know at that point, so you don't end up with any codes. But that's basically it at this point. Right now we're just waiting on our fuel line to come. The 2011s, even though Chrysler said that they have a braided extension on the lines, do not. They run plastic all the way up to the manifold, so it does not connect. So we needed to actually have that changed as well. So Motec's actually doing a custom fuel line for us at that point, 3/8 inch, which will work nicely. And then obviously what we want to do at this point is that, you know, on the stock 3.8, and I think probably anything below 2011s, I'm not sure, but the exhaust would run actually under the transmission cross member that you can see. You can see in our setup here, it actually runs over top of the cross member and gives you about 6 inches in between. Now this is the EGR line, but the fuel line is going to run in the same place. Gives you about 6 inches in between your post-cat pipe coming back into your Y, basically. And what we're going to do is we're going to make a custom heat shield for that, and we're also going to make sure that we put on some very high 1800 degree sleeving on both the EGR and the fuel line, which should keep everything safe and everything from going wrong, so to speak, from being so close to the fuel line. So that's kind of where we're at this point. We don't have the drive shafts in at this point. We're going to do that last. We're going to do an evap relocation kit right here, which would be mounted on the body. So we'll wait until we get the body onto the frame to do that, and that's just because we're running a large 3-inch in, 3-inch out Dynamax rock crawler muffler on our exhaust setup. So that's kind of it. So we're just kind of in hold mode right now. We're waiting for the fuel line. I need to get the shifter back. They needed to do modifications to the shifter to have that taken care of as well. And just a few little odds and ends, but basically I'm kind of stalled in the water at this point. We're ready to get the body back down on this, but obviously need to run the fuel line and do a couple little touch-up things at first. So, and we're also still waiting for the 2011 computer to come back. Fingers crossed everything works out with that. And that's where we're at. So just wanted to give you a quick view after we've got a lot of the wiring on at this point. The Chrysler harnesses are modified and done. We've got those in the back of the shop. Those will get actually placed right before we're ready to get the body back on. So actually some of them will actually be done post, but that's where we're at. So just wanted to give you kind of a quick shot out in the sun here of what everything looks like, ready to go on our 2011 Rubicon. JK that had a 3.8, now it'll have the 6.2 LS motor in it at this point, or L9H truck variant motor. So that's where we're at. So hope you guys enjoyed so far, and probably next you'll see us doing some fuel line and then some heat shield work and then getting the body back onto the frame, and that's where we'll be. Thanks for watching.